All right, guys, we've moved on to a new lesson. It's polygons on coordinate planes. There's probably about 3 or 4 problems I want to show you today, but I promise I'll make them quick. So the first problem they're going to give you is they're going to give you a letter, and then they're going to give you the ordered pair that represents that letter. So let me just give me a second while I write these down. So we're going to have M is 1, 1. We're going to have N is 1, 9. We're going to have P as 7, 9, and we will have Q as 7, 1. Okay, obviously I don't have a piece of grid paper here, so you're going to have to bear with me. So the first thing I need to do is I need to plot these. Remember, my first number is always my X, because remember we talked about you have to like run before you can like jump up in the air or fly. Superman, I think somebody said Superman has to run before he can fly. It's not going to be the best graph, but it'll be okay. Okay, so here's my 0, my origin. So I'm going to look at my X numbers and see that I have to go over to 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to look at my Y-axis numbers and see that I have to go up to 9. So, oops, now my marker doesn't want to work. All right, made it a little too short, but that's okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and plot. It's going to be rough. It's going to be an estimate. Okay, so 1, 1, over 1, up 1 is M. Over 1, up 9 will be N. Over 7, up 9 will be P. And over 7, up 1 will be Q. So now I'm just going to connect my letters here. Oops. And so you'll see that now we have a rectangle. So we need to figure out the lengths. So I'm going to look at my dots. I see that M is connected to Q. So how I write it is I write M, Q, and then I put this line over it, which means line segment. And so I'm just going to see from 1 over to 7 is 6. So it's 6. We'll just call it units. Then I'm going to see that Q connects to P. And I see here we go from 1 all the way up to 9, so that's 8 units. I can see P connects to N, and since it's a rectangle, it should be the same number. It's 6 units. And then my last one is N to M, which again, since it's a rectangle, should be 8 units. Okay, so now I'm going to figure out the perimeter. I just have to add all my sides together. There's 4 because it's a rectangle. So I find out my perimeter in this case is 8 plus 6 is 14, plus another 14 gives you 28 units. I can also figure out the area for this. I know that this side is 6 and this is 8. So I would just multiply 6 by 8 to find out that I have a 48 unit squared area. Okay, so really this one is just draw your shapes carefully, making sure X always goes before Y, X, Y, graph it, tell me what kind of shape it is, and then go ahead and figure out those lengths of those sides. All right, so let me erase this one and let's get into a second problem. Okay, so our second problem is going to look something like this. It's going to say, all right, here we go. All right, I'm going to have to draw, I guess, I don't really want to, but I'm going to have to draw something here. Oops, should probably start with 1. All right, and then let me see, I'm just trying to draw my picture here. We can go. Okay, so let's say, for example, using this, that I had a shape that looked like this. And so they ask you, what is the area of this shape? So basically we have to just figure out what are the lengths of the numbers that we need. I can tell it's a triangle, so I'm going to write down my formula of area equals 1/2 base times height. And now I just got to figure out those numbers. So I know my height is over here. So I'm going to see from 1 to 5, there's 4 in between. So it's 1/2, 4 times, oops, I did it backwards, but that's okay. My base is from 1 to 5 too, so that's 4. I know half of 4 is 2, so 2 times 4 is 8. So in this case, my area would be 8 units squared. So figuring out the area of this, you need to make sure you are just counting your numbers carefully. All right, third example, here we go. I hope these videos are helping you, and if so, leave me some comments and give me some feedback to let me know these are great, Mrs. Deek, or wait, Mrs. Deek, I'm still really confused. All right, so let's say real life, right? We always want to try to tie it into real life. I'm making a patio, okay? I'm not making it, Mr. Deek would have to make it, but okay. So I'm gonna plot it out in my backyard. I'm gonna make a grid to make sure everything is equal and all of my sides are going the same way. And so Mr. Deek loves me because I'm a math teacher, so I decided to plot certain places where I want the patio. So I give him vertices of 1, 5. I'm going to give him a vertice of 6, 5, 6, 1, and 1, 1. So I take my backyard and I make a grid in my backyard. So again, I'm going to draw it out. I'm going to look at my x-axis and see I need to go over to 6. And I need to go up to 5 on my y. All right, so then I decide to put flags where I want my patio to go. So I'll say, okay, I want one end of it to be here. I want another end of it to be here, another end to be here, and another end to be there. So then Mr. D connects the flags because he wants to see exactly what he has to work with. And he's going to say, okay, well, he realizes that from here to here is 5. From here to here is 4, and since again it's a rectangle, he knows that this side will be 5 and this side will be 4. So if I had to figure out my perimeter, I would just add all my numbers together and get a perimeter of 18. And we'll say feet because normally when you're dealing with patios and furniture or patios, you're going to deal with feet. All right, so what happens though if I go to the Home Depot, Lowe's, wherever, home improvement store, and I find these brick pavers, and each brick paver covers an area of 3 feet. Okay, so 1 brick paver is 3 feet. Mr. Deek's got to figure out exactly how many brick pavers he needs. So all he's going to do is take his perimeter, oops, sorry, bumped it, and multiply by 3. So he's going to take his perimeter of 18, and he's going to multiply it by those 3 feet of brick pavers, and he will find out that he needs to make sure that he buys enough to cover 54 squared, or not squared, 54 feet of brick pavers in order to cover our patio. All right, guys. I think this will help you. Again, ask me questions, leave comments to let me know where you need help.